your host, Jay Pops. Guys, today's date is October 28th, 2021. We are officially in a bye week. Like I say, I really apologize for the video, uh, the live that I had did on Tuesday. I don't know how I ended up deleting that whole thing. But hey, guys, I'm trying to get used to doing this live. Once again, I thank you all for helping me get so many subscribers to where I unlocked a whole lot of gems. All right. So, anywho, man, enough of that rambling. Uh, it is the bye week. So, guys, let's talk about some things here. A&M had a big recruiting weekend against South Carolina. Man, that recruiting weekend was so big to where it was Walter Nolan. Of course, it was Bobby Taylor. Ish Harris, I believe, was down there. Noah Thomas, the wide receiver, was down there. Evan Stewart, the five-star wideout, he was another one that was down there. Uh, who else was down there? I believe Jacoby Matthews, the five-star safety, he was down there. Harold Perkins, he was down there as well. And who else on here? Amari Aber, he was down there as well. And Shamar Stewart, man. It was a lot of guys that was down there on that recruiting weekend. On that last live, that's what I was mainly talking about, but I was talking about some other things as well. Who do you guys believe should be in the top 10? Because we are definitely about to see some matchups going into this weekend with some top 10 teams. With the likes of Ohio State is one of them. They will be taking on Penn State. I will be watching that. Another one is Michigan State and Michigan. I would definitely be watching that. Another one is this one here, man, and all you guys need to tune in, just like I know you guys are. Auburn versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss goes to Auburn. That should be a really good game, man, to be honest with you. And check this out. This is the crazy part about it. Auburn is favored in this game. I'm going to say that once again. Auburn is favored in this game. I don't know how that's possible when Texas A&M is clearly the better team than Auburn, and we're favored in that matchup going forward. But Auburn is favored. I think they're favored by like 3 points. Is Auburn better than Texas A&M? I don't know, man, because I might be missing something. But Texas A&M isn't favored going against Ole Miss at Ole Miss, even with Ole Miss having all of those injuries. If you guys do not know, that Ole Miss team is a pretty banged up team right now. So, like I say, man, I will be tuning into it. I believe one of their premier offensive linemen, he's done for the season. I think one or two of their wide receivers, they're done for the season. I can't believe who that. I'm not sure who that was. I don't know if that was Anthony Brown for the Ole Miss wide receiver that went out, man. But that is, I'm not gonna lie to you. It all lies on Matt Corral at this point and what he would actually do in that game. That's why I say, man, we all should be watching that. As A&M fans, we all should be watching that game. Hopefully, Ole Miss wins, or it doesn't matter either one, because I want A&M to go up against a good, healthy Ole Miss team, but unfortunately, guys, we will not go up against a healthy Ole Miss team. We will go up against a healthy Auburn team, though. I can tell you that much. So we'll go up against those guys coming on November 6th, in which is a date where Bobby Taylor said, please be on the lookout for it. I don't necessarily know what that means, but please be on the lookout for that. Terry Williams, hey, man, what's going on? That guy there is one of the biggest fans, man. I appreciate you a whole lot. But that's one of the games to be looking out for. But also on that, with that being said, November 6th is a really big day for Texas A&M because we have not beaten Auburn at home. No, so I'm going to repeat this to you guys once again, although I know you guys already know this. We have not beaten Auburn at home. We need to really get this game, man. We need to get that game. We have not beaten them. I have no clue why we hadn't beaten them, because we should have beat them a long time ago, but I have no clue why we did not beat them. That game, what was that, 2013 year where we had Manziel and we had lost to him? I think that game was like 41-44 or something like that. Really high scoring game. I remember that game because they made that timely sack on Manziel when he was trying to make a play. Good God Almighty, man! I remember that like yesterday. But ever since then, man, even with Jimbo Fisher, we have lost the home game. Uh, this year, I believe this will be a whole lot different. I believe Texas A&M should handle Auburn, and I honestly believe Texas A&M should handle Ole Miss. Ole Miss defense still is not a good defense. I do not understand why they are trying to give Ole Miss defense that much credit, man. I'm so tired of hearing that already. They continue to say, well, man, this Ole Miss defense is decent. They have the 84th best defense in the nation. That is not decent. That is not decent. That is still some things that need to shake up. I remember when A&M was in this same predicament. I did not, excuse me, I did not for once say that A&M defense was decent with an 84th ranked defense. Hell, because yes, God, we were in the 80s for a long time, for a very long time. At one point, hell, we was in the 90s. That is not a good defense, man. That's not. You got to stop doing that. That is all because of what Matt Corral is doing, which is overshadowing the defensive performance in those games, man. So people have to stop doing those things, man. No, Ole Miss does not have a good defense, guys. I'm sorry. Now A&M has ultimately moved up to number 30. They moved up to the 30th ranked best defense in the nation. For guys that did not know, we're now back in the top 30 of where we should have been a long time ago. We should be in the top 15, to be honest with you. But things happen. You know, it is what it is. This D-line is getting better. The run-stopping ability of this D-line is getting way, way better. And I believe after this bye week, after those guys rest their bodies, because good God, they need it, man. They need a bye week. They can easily get a whole lot of things fixed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, they don't, but I can't keep on repeating the same thing of, hey, man, a lot of people don't like Jimbo Fisher and stuff like that. Man, it's still a lot of people that don't like Jimbo Fisher's offense. I was just reading something on my Gig'em 247. I'm sorry. I was just reading something on the Gig'em 247 board, and they were saying that Texas A&M still doesn't have a downfield passing game. Guys, we know this already. You know, me personally, I'm not really worried about downfield passing because that will come when you need it. I know a lot of people want A&M to be like the Ohio States of the world because Ohio State by far has an offense that is off the charts, in which I still don't believe in their defense. I have to see them play a quality opponent, and I'm glad of the simple fact that the national media is noticing that and putting that out there. Like, man, until we see them play some quality teams, we can't really just say that Ohio State defense is good. I honestly agree with that. It's nothing against Ohio State. It is nothing against them. That is a fantastic looking team offensively. But we know this already. They're going to forever have offense. What can you do defensively? It sounds like Ole Miss to me. But Ohio State is by far a better team with better athletes. So I know that eventually, or maybe they should show up. But if they do not show up, man, they keep on trying to move them to number 2, number 3, talking about they number 2, number 3 best team. No, that's just not going to happen with me. I'm sorry, man. I don't see it. What's going on, guy? Man, I don't see it. The offense, Brandon, what's up, Brandon? The offense, I love it. I love seeing that Ohio State offense. It is a fun offense to watch. I will say that. But I understand that a lot of people want Texas A&M to be similar to Ohio State's offense, kind of similar to Alabama's offense. It's just putting up a whole lot of yards, a lot of points, stuff like that. But if you're winning a ball game, the way you're winning the ball game, I don't necessarily care about that big play like that. That all of those big playability stuff, man. Understand this: you can have all the big plays in the world. If your defense does not show up, if you're not a balanced team. If Okay, let me rephrase. If you're not a complete team, you will not win ball games. You will not win a lot of ball games that you're supposed to win. Also, you will not win a national title that way. I'm so tired of hearing this because everybody's seen what LSU done. LSU became complete in 2019 once they got to the playoffs. And once they got to the back end of their season, they start becoming more complete than anything. I seen that. You all seen that. We all know that. Same thing with Alabama last year. Alabama defense was, iffy, but they became a complete team at the back half of the season, and they just took off and ran with it. Ohio State never became complete last year, and that's why they got the socks and the doors blown off of them. They were never a complete team. They were never a complete team, man. Never. All right. So now that not being a complete team is starting to catch up with a lot of teams. Oklahoma is another one. They're not a complete team. What is complete about Oklahoma? Nothing. And I'm glad the media, recognizes that. Nothing against Oklahoma. Like I say, they deserve to be top 5 because they have an undefeated record. But if you're barely winning against Kansas, to me, hey man, you are not a threat to anybody. Although they are 8-0 for the first time since 2003, in which I honestly cannot believe. I did not know that out of all of those years, they have at least lost one game before week 9 of the season or week 8 of the season. I cannot believe that. I honestly did not know that. With all that talent Oklahoma has, man, I honestly did not know that. Yeah, that's true. That's why this team settled in. And they did. And that Mississippi State game, man, that game was so flawed, but that game was played so conservatively. And that's the reason why they lost that game defensively. But also, I told you guys this back then, Zach lost that game on his own because he didn't believe in all of his offensive teammates. Okay, put it like that. He didn't believe in all of his offensive teammates, but at the same time, Zach did not believe all the way into himself and what he was doing. So, to sum it up, Zach didn't believe in the process. All right, it came to the Alabama game, and Zach ultimately believed in the process. And when he believed in it more than what he believed in it before, that's when you saw the Zach Calzada that I continue to rave about before the season started, in which I said, well, if Zach gets his over Haynes King, I believe that we'll still be okay, going forward. I believe this team can still be elite going forward. Once again, I went to that spring game and I seen it in person. It's something about seeing the game played in person than on TV, because when you're right there in person and you're looking at it, that's the reason why I told you guys about the Mississippi State game. I seen that in person, man. That's a different feeling. Like, everybody in the stadium, when Zach lost that Mississippi State game, was at an all for words. I mean, we were live, and, we were high-fiving everybody, when they made all those plays with Tyreek Chappelle and Leon O'Neal came up and made the double hit. And that was a wrecking crew moment. And we were like, man, we finna win this game. And then Mississippi State missed the field goal. I'm talking about the stadium was loud. But when Zach got tackled in that end zone with the safety, everybody just stopped and had a quick moment of like, I can't believe what just happened, and I can't believe what we just seen. Was that for real? And I believe that Zach was so caught up in the moment of where he was and how that game took place in that certain moment, man, that's something that I honestly can't explain. Like, I can't explain that, man. And until this day, I really can't explain that loss. And none of us can. I believe Zach can't even explain that loss, man, to be honest with you. So, it's crazy, but this team is getting better. Like you say, Ruben Fothering. That guy there, man, for him to be playing at the level that he's playing, and also Bryce Foster, in which, man, we all knew that Bryce Foster was going to be just like he's showing to be today. Keon Green, I forever kept on mentioning that. It's no reason to mention Keon Green. I'm sorry. Keon Green is not a part of this offensive line conversation anymore. Keon Green has proved himself since freshman year. I can't think of an offensive lineman who has done that at A&M all the way up into their junior year, and he's still playing not the same, but even better. Like, that's real dangerous for an offensive lineman, man. Once again, I can't think of anybody that started out their freshman year that way and has mustered everything that they've learned along the way and put it all into 3 years, man. Now, if he comes back, that's just mainly on him, and he wants to finish something that, he didn't do. But I believe he's honestly gone this year. I know that for a fact. He is gone. But Keon Green, I do not mention him. I'm sorry if you guys feel like that. Man, look, how do I feel about Foster's 40 time? Well, by looking at Bryce Foster's calf muscle and somebody starting a Twitter page about Bryce Foster's calf muscle, tells me everything I need to know. Have you ever seen Bryce Foster's calves? His calf is about as big as me, and I'm 32 years old. And I'm telling you that his calf is about as big as I am. So that says a whole lot, man. But Ruben Faldery, Bryce Foster, these are the true freshmen. Leighton Robinson, man, he's been very, very good lately. Another one, Jameer Johnson. Jameer Johnson is going to have his times, but Jameer Johnson is getting better more as the season goes on. So it was what it was. Jameer Johnson was going to be a project anyways, but he's getting better as the season goes on. All he needs is just more seasoning, more seasoning, more seasoning. All right, so let's talk about a couple of injuries. Of course, we've all seen Caleb Chapman come back. So Caleb Chapman should contribute a lot to this team going forward. So just be looking for him to stay stable with that wide receiver core that should do some damage along the way. Chase Lane is back also, in which he should do some damage along the way as well. I know a lot of you guys are looking to see Moose Muhammad already. I am too, but man, we just have to be patient. Moose Muhammad is going to get in the game when the game presents itself to him, as long as the season continue to go along. Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I wish the same thing. And let me make this comment relevant. He just one of the guys just told me, man, I wish we had this coach years ago and this team years ago when he was at school, stuff like. I know, man, but it is what it is. This team has supposed to been had a national title with the likes of Bear Bryant. For guys that did not know, Bear Bryant was a coach for Texas A&M for a short amount of time. Bear wanted to change the landscape like he done at Alabama, in which Alabama let him do that because they believed in what he was saying. And when he ultimately changed the landscape of Alabama, Alabama went on to be one of the winningest programs in national title history. But Bear Bryant wanted to integrate Texas A&M. And at that time, hey, man, we stay in the state of Texas, so I don't need to tell you the history on that. But at that time, Texas A&M wasn't. Yeah, they will, but yeah. But yeah, Moose Muhammad, Demas, and like you say, you keep Brown, people of that nature. Yes, man, they will be a beast. But at that time, A&M wasn't trying to integrate, but it was what it was. But this was the message and the statement that Bear Bryant told Texas A&M, that if you guys want to stay in that closed mindset, then last place is where you're going to be going forward, period. And until this day, man, like I tell you guys all the time, until this day, Texas A&M has ultimately reaped the benefits, reaped the repercussion or benefits, or however that little statement goes. Up until this day, we are making up for lost time, man. It's been a very, very long time. But Bear Bryant did describe those words, and Bear Bryant left and went to Alabama, and the story tells itself after that. But Gene Stallings was a coach here that left and went to Alabama, won a national title. What's my boy? Jackie Sherrill, he was the guy that started 12th man. Let me not say started 12th man, but he really, really boosted the 12th man. He turned it all the way up. But he got caught with, allegations and stuff like that, so he had to give the team up. And what's my boy name? R.C. Slocum, man. I honestly believe Jimbo Fisher is another R.C. Slocum. And we will see Jimbo Fisher do big things, and Jimbo Fisher will ultimately bring a national title home. You guys have to believe in the statement that he made when he said that we should have had a title a long time ago. What happens when King gets healthy? I believe King will ultimately still be the starter. It's no doubt about it in my mind about that. But we will have a quarterback roster out this world in which we haven't seen before since Kevin Sumlin was here with Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen, which was 2 5-stars that was back-to-back on the roster. So we will see a roster like that because ultimately Connor Wingman will be here. Eli Stowers, if he comes back to being a quarterback, he will be here. But we will have Zach, of course, who has major experience. But King will ultimately be the starter because King has some unfinished business. Put it like that. So, hey, we will ultimately see that. But just some recruiting news, and I'm going to go ahead and get on about it here. Harold Perkins, he will be making the decision during the Under Armour game, which is January 2nd. And Jacoby Matthews will be making his decision on January 2nd during the Under Armour game as well. So you guys have to really, really watch that, man. I watch a lot of this stuff. I love these high school athletes. That's why I tune into them so much. But, man, just be looking for that. We sit in a really good spot with Walter Nolan right now. Shamar Stewart. Be looking out for a sneaky commitment, I believe, from Shamar Stewart. I don't know when, but when he commits, that Texas A&M fan base, which is all of us, it's going to go crazy. That football team that's right now, they will go crazy. So just be looking for that. When Walter Nolan ultimately commits, good God Almighty. And I heard about the screen. Yeah, he said November 6th date. Yeah, I'm keeping that in mind. We all need to keep that in mind. I have no clue what's going to happen November 6th. But I think he said November 6th because of the Auburn game, man, and we're at home. So if you see something pops up on that screen for all the guys that's going to that game, if you see something pops up on that screen that say such and such committed, that whole stadium is going to go crazy. All right, just in Auburn is going to see it, and Auburn is going to have that, oh, man. They're going to have that all-man moment like, golly, shoot, we got to deal with all of them. Yeah, you got to deal with them. But that's it, guys. That's all I have for you. I thank you guys for tuning in on this live. I love all of you. #GigaMax.